All right, first and foremost, I want to welcome you to the Dividend Discovery YouTube channel. Stumbled across this video. This is my very first video. My name is Tom, and I am admittedly a novice investor, but I enjoy learning. I watch all sorts of YouTube videos, and I thought it would be fun to kind of give my own take on how I research stocks, my thought process, what I'm looking for initially. And I've seen enough videos to know that I have to mention this right out of the gate. I am far from an investment professional. I may not even be considered a novice. That's what I'll call myself. But I am a student. I do enjoy it. So this is not investment advice whatsoever. This is strictly for entertainment purposes only. So take it as such. Here we go. In Dividend Investigation video number 1, I'm going to be putting financial services company Fidelity National Financial, ticker FNF, through the gauntlet of surface criteria that I use. And at the end of this video, we'll use my proprietary dividend stock scorecard to see if Fidelity makes the grade and deserves further research and investment consideration or not. And as we get ready to jump in here, when the video is over, if you found it interesting or valuable in any way, please consider liking and subscribing to Dividend Discovery. Now, to be eligible for this video series, I've come up with 3 simple criteria for these dividend stocks. The first thing that I look for is the stock needs to be within 10% of its 52-week low. I'm looking for a stock that is under $100 in value because I don't have a whole lot of money to invest, and I would like to buy multiple shares of a company versus fractional shares at this point, and I'd like to have a yield of at least 3% or greater. All right, one of the first things that I look for is the intrinsic value of a stock. I use the projected cash flow, and I would really like it to be under 1. Fidelity National Financial is currently $39.68 at the time I am recording this video. So using that price, intrinsic value ratio would currently be 0.53, which is well below 1 and certainly a positive in my book. Next on, I'd like to use the website TipRanks. I'm sure many of you do as well. I like to look at the SMART score. I'm really looking for anything above an 8, and this really is a gauge of the projected performance of the stock. And as you can see, Fidelity here is getting a score of 10, which is as good as you can get. And this includes things from TipRanks such as crowd of wisdom, analyst recommendations, media sentiment, and they actually use 8 unique data points, as they say, to come up with this grade. So far, so good. All right, next I like to look at the value grade of the stock. This is very important to me as I focus on dividend investing, and we're looking for a grade of an A. I'll go with a B as well, but I'm really looking for an A if possible. I go to Zacks for this. Again, I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Zacks website. And their grade is going to tell us, is the stock really at a good discount? Is it really a value at this moment? And as you can see, Fidelity gets an A. The next things that I like to look at are some of the key ratios, or at least to me, what are the key ratios? I've done so many things with stock research. I've built so many spreadsheets, as I'm sure many of you have as well. And then I'll scrap one, I'll build another one, I'll scrap it. I'm looking at different things. The bottom line is, no matter what you look at, you're going to find positive things about a company, and you're going to find negative things about a company. I'm just getting ready to pull the trigger on something, and then I'll see some bad news or something that, oh well, should I do this after all? And it's just the nature of the beast. These are some of the key ratios, though, that I like, and some of the things that I look for. PE ratio, obviously pretty straightforward. I would like it to be under 10 if I'm going to invest in a stock. Fidelity National Financial is at 4.84. Earnings per share, I like to see $5 or more. And in this case, Fidelity is well above that with $8.44 a share. And finally, debt to equity ratio, I want to see this under 1. And as you can see, Fidelity National Financial, very, very solid with a 0.37. All right, I focus on dividend stocks. I do have a few growth stocks that don't pay a dividend in my small, new, slowly building portfolio. However, I am primarily focused on dividend stocks. I'm really looking for a company that has increased their dividend payout for at least 10 years running. In this case, we are at 11 years, so we just made the cut. And then also payout ratio. I don't want something too high. I want to see where the company has plenty of free cash after they pay dividends to invest back into the company. And in this case, Fidelity is only at a payout ratio of 20.85%, so that is really impressive. Okay, of course I have to match any stock that I'm looking at up against its industry. It might look good on paper initially, but I want to see how it's performing against companies in its own industry. Two things that I look for are net profit margin and return on equity. In this case, Fidelity has a net profit margin of 15.48%, and the industry is averaging 4.54%. The return on equity, Fidelity is at 25.23%. The industry ranks out at a 12.60%. So we can give a nice big green check mark in both of those areas as well. And finally, I look for projected upside. I want to see, what do the analysts think about this stock? How's it going to perform over the next 12 months? We know it's all a guess, but it's the best thing that I have to go with. So I'm really looking for something with a projected upside of 50% or greater. In this case, as I mentioned, Fidelity National Financial currently at $39.68 a share. It is projected an average upside of $66.75, and that would be a 68% increase, so not too shabby. All right, and before we unveil the scorecard, another quick reminder: if you haven't already done so, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It will help us out immensely. All right, so let's take a look here. Our very first video, our worth further investigation scoreboard here. Fidelity National Financial checks all the boxes. Our intrinsic value was positive. Our smart score from TipRanks. Our value grade from Zacks. PE was under 10. Earnings per share was over 5. Our debt to equity was under 1. Dividend increase for at least 10 years, that's a check. Our payout ratio under 40%, that is a check. Net margin, Fidelity outpaced the industry. Return on equity, the same thing. And then upside over 50%. We finished off with we're getting close to 70% upside on this stock. So would we investigate this further? We're going to give this an absolute yes. What do you think? So there you go, the end of episode number 1. I hope some of you found this video to be useful, informative in some way. I appreciate you stopping by. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.